What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video where we're driving that FD to work. Get stoked. Fired up. Not fired right up, but fired up. Still got an exhaust leak, but hey, we're doing the thing. Wastegate should be turned down boost, so it should open instantly instead of holding it closed. You should have like 8 pounds or something. Crispy. So, time to take the dog for a morning walk and then head in the office. You ready to go for a walk? Let's go. Morning stroll. We're off to work. Alright guys, the drive to work was a huge success, and the drive to lunch was a huge success. So we're going to see if it starts at lunch, because, you know, it's always a good shot in the dark. So let's see. Just had to give a little bit of gas. Running good. So let's rip this thing back to the office. You guys get it right on my forehead again. So it's just like an upgraded pressure plate on a stock flywheel, whereas the other engine we had a Monster Speed clutch on it, like a kind of a hybrid twin disc sort of deal. And I don't know if just it's like the tune is a little weird because it's a different, you know, obviously the car is tuned with that other engine, or with, I guess, this engine. But when you rebuild an engine and it has different compression numbers, this, that, and the other, the tune's never, you know, exactly perfect, and, you know, it's Power FC, it's not the best EFI system out there for this. But that, like, low RPM, higher load situation, when you're letting the clutch out, sometimes it likes to bog a little bit. I need to keep my eye on the AFR when it does that and see if it's a fuel issue, but you never know. Also, this car has like deceleration enrichment turned on, so on decel the AFRs go to like 8.0, which is just to help, like, when you're on the track and stuff, help keep the engine cool while it's decelling, especially with the oil metering pump deleted. If you think about it, every time you let off the gas, it's not getting any oil on the housings. So fun fact, that lady just stared me down because we don't have a hood. That, and this thing's loud. Or she's a JDM fanboy and she likes weird Japanese cars. We'll just go with the latter. Audis don't use turn signals either. Well, it seems to pull through the gears pretty good. I'm not going full throttle. I'm just going like 50-60% throttle, but at least at 5,500 feels pretty good. So this engine only has new apex seals and resurfaced housings. The bearings and stuff are a combination of, you know, these rotor bearings plus the bearings from the other engine. So it's not like we need to break the bearings in. So you can be a little bit more abusive on it if you just did apex seals. If you did brand new everything else, and even then on brand new apex seals, I probably wouldn't go kick the rods out of it right away. But, you know, they say break them in how you're going to drive them. I kind of err on the side of I'm going to take it easy for a little bit and then do that. So it's on a, let's do 200 to 300 miles before we try to blow this thing up. Break-in procedure is how we're going to drive it, because literally next week when we get to the tail of the dragon, you can bet your bottom dollar this thing's going to get ran pretty hard, but that's what they're there for. If you went back and you've watched the video on the channel, things to know before you buy a $40,000 FD or whatever the price is set at now. That car, or that video is about this car, and I kind of went over all the things you should know about the car, you know, and talked about a couple of things and how it drives and this, that, and the other. And I'm not the guy that is going to review a car or tell you, you know, things about an RX-7 without having driven the RX-7's pretty hard. So I've driven one of these at the tail of the dragon. I've driven probably 6 or 7 different ones, and on back roads around here, and then this car and everything. So I feel like I've got a pretty good base for, you know, having a good, credible opinion on the matter, because that's really all it is an opinion. What's in the road? What's the shadow? Anyways, my big thing, I am 6'4", so look at this. I don't fit in this car. The seating position is not that great. I don't know how my buddy drives it because he's taller than me, but I'm just not too stoked on that. I have yet to find like a good FD that's, you know, I say reasonably priced in the FD market. I'm talking like a $35,000 to $40,000 car that the interior isn't just completely clapped. Even on a super nice interior, they're just kind of crappy. Like, this 90s plastic. This wasn't a fancy car, you know, so you didn't get good quality stuff. And I just don't like that. You know, for a $35,000 car, I'd rather have the fit and finish be a little bit better. You know, and I get it. It's a 90s car. You're paying for the sexiness, the badass rotary, all that stuff. Not so much like paying for like Aston Martin or Corvette quality, you know? So it's just a very different experience when you get in one of these for how much you pay for it. So the next thing besides not fitting in the car, which I think fitting in the car is probably the most important thing, it's just that I'm not too keen on the driving experience of it. Like a stock one's good, 260 horsepower is really good, especially if you can grip it up, which is really what I would want, is like stock horsepower with the sequential twins. But when you get into these big single turbo cars, like this chassis is not the strongest. It's not a Z06 Corvette. It doesn't have the rigidity, and it's not as comfortable, in my opinion, to put the power down as like which I've never driven one, but like a higher horsepower RX-8. Like this chassis feels a little flimsy. It feels really light, and it just, where you sit right on the back tire and not being comfortable in the car, it's just never lended me to want to own one. Like the driving experience has been more scary than magical, and a first gen RX-7 has a magical driving experience, right? It's like a full bridge, and one of those is plenty of power for the tire you can fit under it. It's light, it's nimble, it's quick, it's fun. Whereas like this car, I feel like gets into that, to push the limits and have fun in this car and really drive it and use it, it gets a little scary. And I have a Z06 Corvette, a C6, and that's like my replacement for this car, right? I always call it my LS swapped FD, that came LS swapped, from the factory. And that's because like that car, although pretty scary to drive, and it's a lot faster than this and everything, and at the limit is really sketchy, does everything that you would want a $35,000 car to do really well, and these just don't really do it for me. So I don't know, that's my thoughts. I don't know how long I just talked for, but we're gonna like 6/10-ish rip down this little back road that I normally rip down this little back road that I normally drive into. It kind of connects back past my house and the other ridge, and hopefully y'all can get some good noises. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, whatever alarm relay was flickering is now busted, and I can't roll the windows down, so I've been sweating all the way home. But we're gonna try to take this thing for a little bit of a rip here and put the speed down. I don't know what kind of brakes he's got on this thing, but we'll find out if they're okay. They're not terrible. My laptop's gonna fly across the screen. All right, let's go. Car's definitely not slow, guys. It's definitely not slow. We're in my lunchbox. And that corner in right-hand drive is a lot more fun. Dirt road. This little downhill. I really scared myself one time in the Corvette because of this hill right here. You have to do all your braking before this hill, so you don't get airborne over the hill, accelerate into this corner, a little bit of some brakes. You get a nice little straight stretch there. Y'all love it. Temps looked good. I wasn't really watching the AFRs, but I'll run back the video and check them. Based on my throttle position, I was trying not to really run it past 12 pounds of boost, so which is really all it's making, about 15 right now. We still got oil pressure, so huge win, guys. Great successful test drive. Alright guys, we made it back to the house. The FD survived. Not a huge rip on the back roads, but hard enough rip nonetheless. I gotta look this thing over one more time for oil leaks. I gotta wash it, get the hood put back on it, and then my buddy can come pick it up. I'm stoked. For all you guys that watch the videos, I'm stoked that you guys enjoyed the FD content. Don't worry, this car is not going away. It's just going away for a little bit, and then we're going to get started. We're going to unbox that brand new REW engine that I've got inside. We're going to compression test that right out of the box, see what it is, take it all apart, port it, rebuild it, put it back together, and then that engine, along with like a different ECU, different turbo, a whole bunch of stuff is going to get installed in this car. I don't know how much of that, aside from doing the engine swap and building the engine, I'll be involved with, because I'm not a fabricator, and we have a buddy who does all the fabrication work. So as far as intercooler piping and all that stuff, I won't be doing that. But getting the car assembled, we'll be doing that, and I'll definitely keep, you know, as this car has now become part of the channel a little bit, we'll definitely keep you guys updated on the car. My buddy's a super cool dude. I'm stoked he lets me work on this thing and keeps it up for him. So thank you guys again very much for watching. Go check out the other videos if you want to learn more about first gens, you want to learn more about rotary engines in general, you want to learn more about RX8's. We kind of are in the big rotary phase right now, so go check that stuff out. We'll see you in the next one. Keep it rad. Laddie, come here. Come here. What do you think? You think this is a good car? Yeah? That marker light's falling out, isn't it? Richard, I'll fix that before you get it back. It's missing the bolts. Body guy probs. Alright, Letty, what question we got to ask? Should we sell the Corvette and buy an FD? Jump if yes. Good. Not selling the Corvette. Should we just buy an FD and keep the Corvette? Hey, jump. Maybe we should buy an FD and keep the Corvette. Dog says yes. Maybe we'll make her the business manager. Peace, guys.